You're living such a rock star life, but don't you want to settle down?
Yeah, I want to settle down with the right woman at the right time. And I feel like even people be like, well, why you don't get with your baby mothers? You got 6 baby mothers to pick from, to choose from. Why won't you pick one of them? If I choose one, the other one's going to get mad. Then I choose the other one, that's going to get mad. So whoever I choose is going to start a melee.
Future bought a mansion on a private island in Miami Beach for $16.3 million. His neighbor paid $51 million for their place on the same street. That neighbor is Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google. That is the sentence that tells you everything about where Future actually sits financially and why this story goes so much deeper than what the blogs have been reporting. But here is what makes it really interesting. The island is not the most impressive part of what Future built. It is just the most visible part, because underneath that $16 million acquisition is a business architecture, a label, a publishing catalog sale, a management company, brand partnerships, and over a decade of compounding income that most people have never seen fully laid out, until right now. Navadius Damon Wilburn grew up in Kirkwood, one of Atlanta's toughest neighborhoods. His cousin was Rico Wade of Organized Noise, the production collective behind Outkast and Goody Mob, which gave young Navadius early access to the Dungeon family creative world and an education in the music business that most artists never get. He started going by Future and spent the early 2010s grinding through the Atlanta mixtape circuit, Dirty Sprite, True Story, Streets Calling, building a reputation block by block before signing with Epic Records in 2011. From the moment his debut Pluto dropped in 2012, it was clear nobody sounded like him. The auto-tune melodies, the emotionally raw delivery, and the way he blended singing and rapping into something that felt entirely new. The culture felt it immediately. What followed was one of the most sustained runs in modern hip-hop history. DS2 in 2015 defined a generation of trap music. In 2017, he became the first artist in Billboard history to debut 2 solo #1 albums in the same week. His 2022 album, I Never Liked You, gave him the Grammy-winning Wait For You with Drake and Tems. Then in 2024, he partnered with Metro Boomin on We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You, both #1, with Like That, featuring Kendrick Lamar sitting at the top of the Hot 100 for weeks. His 2024 mixtape, Pluto O, then made him the first hip-hop artist ever to land 3 #1 projects in a single calendar year. As of 2026, he holds the record for the most #1 albums on the US Top Rap Albums chart, 16. His net worth is estimated between $50 and $65 million, with projections going higher as his catalog continues to appreciate. But the music is just the foundation. Here is where the real building starts. Future has tens of billions of streams across platforms, and with a back catalog this size, royalties accumulate constantly whether he is in the studio or on a beach. Industry sources estimate he earns millions annually from streaming alone. On top of that, he has been documented earning around $1 million per show at his performance peak. The We Don't Trust You tour with Metro Boomin in 2024 was a full North American arena run generating serious 8-figure revenue. Add brand partnerships with Reebok, Nike, Adidas, and Rolex. Not one-time checks, but ongoing relationships whose value scales with his cultural relevance. Plus his free bands clothing line and merchandise operation. And what you have is an artist running multiple income streams simultaneously, all flowing in the same direction at the same time. That money needed somewhere to go, and Future made sure it built something. He founded Free Bands Entertainment in 2011, the same year he signed his Epic deal, operating it under the business entity Wilburn Holden Co. While most artists were signing away ownership for advances, Future was building his own house from day one. He controlled the masters. He set the direction, and Free Bands grew into a real label with a roster: Doughboy, DJ Esco, Young Scooter, Lil Durk, Real Boston Richie, with global distribution through Epic and a revenue stream that operates completely independent of his solo output. Every album those artists release, every stream, every sync deal, a percentage flows back into the Free Bands machine. That label infrastructure also gave him the leverage to structure the 2024 joint venture with Metro Boomin's Boominati Worldwide and Republic Records for the We Don't Trust You rollout, a multi-party major label deal that a standard artist with no business entity could never negotiate. That is what real ownership looks like in the music industry. Then there is the publishing catalog sale. This is arguably the move that most clearly separated Future from his peers financially. At some point, Future sold a significant portion of his music publishing rights in what industry sources describe as an 8-figure deal. Minimum $10 million, potentially significantly more, extracted from the intellectual property he spent a decade building song by song. Publishing catalogs have become one of the hottest asset classes in entertainment, with investment funds paying top dollar for proven catalogs that generate consistent royalty income year after year. Future recognized his catalog had reached that level, cashed in at exactly the right moment, and converted years of creative work into immediate capital he could redeploy into hard assets. That is not a musician's move. That is an investor's move. And then, in January 2024, he announced the next expansion, a management company launched quietly with a single post to his 7.7 million followers on X. New year, new ventures. Starting my new management company 2024. No elaborate rollout, just a declaration from someone who has already proven he knows how to execute. A management company means Future now earns from the careers of the next generation of artists, the same way the people before him earned from his. Another income stream, another equity stake in talent, another arm of the free bands conglomerate, extending its reach further into the industry. That is the Texas-sized empire people talk about. Not square footage, a label, a publishing sale, a management company, brand partnerships with global corporations, a merchandise operation, and a financial architecture where music fuels the brand fuels the endorsements fuel the capital, and the capital gets deployed into assets. Everything feeds into everything else. Which brings us back to the island. In November 2022, public records confirmed Future purchased a waterfront home on Allison Island in Miami Beach for $16.3 million, negotiated down from a $19.9 million asking price, an 18% discount. That negotiation alone tells you something. This was not a rapper flexing. This was someone with experienced real estate professionals in their corner who understood that even in the luxury market, everything is negotiable if you come correct. Allison Island is a 35-acre private gated community inside Biscayne Bay containing just 49 single-family waterfront homes. You cannot build more. You cannot replicate the location. The barrier to entry is a security gate, serious money, and the kind of profile that comes with operating at the absolute highest level. Lil Wayne listed his mansion there for nearly $30 million. Shakira lived there. Pitbull, and Sergey Brin, who reportedly paid $51 million in an off-market deal on the same street where Future owns. The property itself sits at 6,493 Allison Road, 8,897 square feet, built in 2020, 7 bedrooms, 8.5 bathrooms, a detached guest house, staff quarters, a 3-car garage, an elevator, and a backyard that operates like a private 5-star resort, with a pool, spa, summer kitchen, and 75 feet of direct bay frontage, with space specifically designated for a yacht. And Florida has 0 state income tax, which means establishing primary real estate in Miami versus operating out of California or New York, where top earners pay over 13% in state taxes, is a strategy that compounds into massive savings year after year. That is not accidental. That is deliberate financial planning. When you look at everything together, the island mansion next to a Google co-founder, the label generating income from an entire roster, the 8-figure publishing catalog sale, the management company, the brand partnerships, the 16 #1 albums still compounding royalties around the clock, what you're looking at is not a rapper who got rich. You are looking at a man from Kirkwood, Atlanta, who used music as seed capital, built real business infrastructure around it, and converted over a decade of cultural relevance into permanent financial assets before the window closed. The world knows Future for the music. The empire behind the music is the part that actually lasts. Drop in the comments, what part of this surprised you the most? And if you want more breakdowns like this every week, you already know what to do. Tap in.